Hello children, welcome to my class. I am Momita and today I will be explaining you verb and its kind. So let us start with verb. Now see children, here you see verb. First of all, what is a verb? A verb is a word that describes number 1, an action, number 2 or an even, action or number 2 and even, and number 3, a state of being. Now see, as I have told you, verb describes an action, an event or a state of being. State of being means what? A condition. Now in the first sentence, if you see, it states he played tennis. Now the word played is an action. So here the verb is an action word. Now she is a doctor. Now where is the verb here? The verb is. Now in this case, is not an action. It is a condition. It is expressing a condition, state of being. What is he? What is her condition? She is a doctor. The teacher seems angry. Again, state of being. What is his condition now? What is the condition of the teacher now? She is angry. So here, verb is not only an action word, but it can also tell us about the state of being of a noun. Now, here we see a verb can be one word or many words. It would be words here. A verb can be one word or many words. It is placed after the subject. So verb are always placed after the subject. Now if you see the examples here, Neha plays tennis. Here the verb is plays and it is only one word. Neha is playing tennis. Here two words, will have been playing tennis and Neha has been playing tennis. So here verbs are a group of words, not one word. Thus here we get the definition of verb, that is, verb is a word that describes an action, an event or a state of being, and it can be one word or many words, like the examples as I have told you. Now we would see the classification of verb. As you can see, broadly verbs can be classified into two kinds, finite verb and non-finite verb. Now first of all, before proceeding to further divisions, we will try to understand what a finite verb and a non-finite verb is. Now, finite verb. What is a finite verb? These verbs change their forms according to tense of the sentence, the number, the person of the subject. Now see, she is singular, so plays, not play. Had it been they, then what shall we write? They play tennis. So here the verb play is ruled by the subject. If it is a singular subject, then verb plus s, plural subject verb plus no s, I and you verb plus no s. I play tennis, you play tennis, she plays tennis, they play tennis. She played tennis in past tense, they played tennis in past tense. She will play tennis, future tense. She has played tennis, present perfect tense. So here we see this verb plays or played or will play. The verbs are determined by the subject, whether it is singular or plural, whether it is in first person, second person or third person, and also by the tense. So finite verbs are used according to the tense of the sentence, the number and the person of the subject. And non-finite verbs are not at all affected by the person or number of the subject and tense of the sentence. They act as noun, adjective or adverb. Now in these sentences, you see there are two verbs. I like reading books. He likes reading books. Now if you see here, the first verb like, it changes its forms. With I you have to use like, and with he you have to use likes. So here these are finite verb, because the word like is finite verb, because it changes according to the subject. but reading remains the same. because this is non-finite verb, right? I like what? Reading book. This is doing the work of a verb and also noun. He likes what? Reading book. So these are non-finite verb because they are not determined by the subject, by the gender of by the person, by the number, not gender, I'm sorry, by the person, by the subject, or by the tense of the sentence, right? So these two. Reading, it is non-finite, and like is finite verb. Now the further division, today in this video I'm going to talk about the finite verb only. In my next video I shall discuss about the non-finite verbs. Now if you see the finite verb again can be classified into three parts: principal verb, linking verb, and auxiliary verb. Now principal verb, as you can see, can be divided into transitive and intransitive. Auxiliary can be divided into primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. Now we would see what is a principal verb, transitive verb and intransitive verb, linking and auxiliary verbs. Now we would deal with all these verbs now. Now see children, we are going to do the principal verbs. Now what are the principal verbs? These verbs provide information and is used to express action. It can be any kind of action, okay? Like if I say he gave me a book, gave, this is the work done here, action is giving. He told me a story, what is the work done here? What action are we talking about? Telling. The child weeps, what is the action done here? Weeping. Now these are all principal verbs because they provide information and is used to express. This is providing information and is also used to express some kind of action done, work done. Now principal verb can, as you have seen, it can be divided into transitive and intransitive verb. Now what are transitive verbs? Verbs with object. Intransitive verbs are verbs without object. Now what do you understand by objects? Now if we ask question after verb, what questions? What or whom? If we get answer to the question what or whom asked after the verb, then those are the objects. Like if I say the boys fly kites, boys fly what? Kites. But see in the next sentence, the birds fly in the sky. The birds fly, we are getting answer to the question where. So in this case, in the sky is not the object. Object is only if we get answer to the question what or whom. In the third sentence we see grandmother told me a story. Told whom? Me. Told what? A story. If you get answer to the question whom, that is if the object is a human being, then it is indirect object. If you get answer to the question what, that is the object is a thing, then it is a direct object. So grandmother told whom? Me. It is me is a person, it is answering to the question whom, and it is an indirect object. Grandmother told what? A story. So this is a thing and this is direct object. Now transitive verbs, as I have told you, are those verbs which have objects. It may be direct or indirect. Now intransitive verbs are without object. There may be words used after the verb, but they would definitely not answer to the question what or whom. Like if I say she danced well. Now there is a word well here, but it does not tell us about what or whom asked after danced. Danced how? Well. So in this case, danced is intransitive verb. The taxi is waiting at the door. Waiting where? At the door. Not, it is not answering to the question what or whom. So here also waiting is an intransitive verb. A verb can be used as intransitive or intransitive, transitive or intransitive. Like in this sentence, the boys fly what? Kites. The birds fly in the sky. In the sky is answering to the question where, so intransitive, and it is answering in the first one, fly what? Kites. So transitive. Now let us do the auxiliary verb. Now auxiliary verbs are also known as supporting verb. Now auxiliary verbs are never used alone in the sentence. As the name indicates, it is a supporting verb. So auxiliary verb are always used with the principal verb, right? Auxiliary verbs are always used with the principal verbs. They help to indicate the tense or the mood of the sentence. Now a sentence, if there is only one verb in the sentence, then it is definitely going to be the principal verb and not the auxiliary verb. Now auxiliary verb, basically they indicate the tense of the sentence. Now it can be divided into three parts: be group verb, do group verb, and have group verb. Now what comes under the be group verb? There are 8 verbs which come under the be group verb. These are am, is, are, was, were, and be, been, being. Under do group verb we have do, does, and did, and under have group verb we have has, have, and had. Now if I say in this sentence excuse me, they are playing. Now in this sentence, see, the main verb is playing and are indicates the tense, so are is the supporting verb. They are playing, here playing is the main verb and are is the supporting verb, which is indicating that the work, that the principal verb is being done in the present. Similarly, if I write they were playing, playing remains the same and were indicates the past tense. It is were is the supporting verb or the auxiliary verb. I have finished my work. Again, finished is the principal verb and have indicates that the tense, that this finishing has been done in present perfect, right? So auxiliary verb can, as you can see, the primary auxiliary, they help to indicate the tense of the sentence. Now see, in these two sentences we see have is used and do is used here, but there is no principal verb here. I have a dog. There is only one verb, have, which belongs to have group. But since there is no other verb, we cannot consider this have to be an auxiliary verb. Here it does the role of the principal verb, because we cannot have only auxiliary without the main verb. So main verb has to be there. So since there is no other verb, we have to take this have to be the principal verb. Similarly, I do my work. I do is the only verb here, so here also do is used as a principal verb and not as an auxiliary verb. Now similarly, if you look here, modal auxiliary, they indicate mood and also definitely also the tense, like can, present tense, could, past tense. Now what do you understand by mood? Now if I say it may rain today, that means there is a possibility that it may or it might rain today. It shows, may suggests possibility. But if I say it will rain today, it means that definitely it is going to rain. So will indicate, will show determination that it is definitely going to rain, and may will show probability, right? Ought to means you should do something. It is advisable that you ought to do something. It is you should do something. Similarly, will. So see, these things, they indicate the mood, right? I can lift the box and I will lift the box. Can will show ability. I can do it. I can lift the box, and I will lift the box. It says, it tells us about my determination that I am going to do it, right? So modal auxiliaries, they indicate the mood of the verb. Now this is all about verb. I hope the video has been interesting and you have been able to get a lot of knowledge about verb. Thank you for attending the session.